Friday Night Stars, presented by Whataburger. Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back. 3 chicken strips, signature buffalo sauce, and buttermilk ranch. Available for a limited time.
Another football weekend is upon us, and this is week number 5 of the high school football season, and this is Friday Night Stars. Bill Jones along with Kyle Youmans here inside the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco. And looks are not deceiving right here. Yes, you're seeing Kyle Youmans right now in 2 different places at the same time, although it's actually in the same place right here in studio as Kyle does his high school show. And, of course, it's a Cowboys game night as well. And so it's just amazing. You're everywhere, Kyle Youmans.
You know what? I have to be. I've got 3 kids now. That's how much things can change in one offseason. I've grown a beard. I have 3 kids now. There's a whole lot going on, and it's still good to be back with you talking high school football.
Okay, so before you get to watching Cowboys and Giants, let's get you set for the high school weekend. And let's get started by taking a look at one of the top districts in the metroplex. A district to keep an eye on is District 5-6A. And why do we need to keep an eye on this district? Because there's some top teams in this district, Kyle.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the way that Coppell has started the year. Of course, they went undefeated in the regular season last year, had a phenomenal year for the Coppell Cowboys. But how about Flower Mound and Flower Mound Marcus, both of which have been impressive to this point in the season? We're used to seeing the Marcus Marauders and doing what they're doing by winning games early in the campaign. But Flower Mound with a win over Arlington Bowie early. They blanked Wiley 38-0. And I think the most impressive win on their schedule was last weekend, and that was whenever they took on Lake Highlands going into their bye week in a 21-17 win. Geyer has that 1 loss against North Crowley. They're lurking in the distance. That's still a state title contender. But don't look at or look away from Louisville and Hebron as well. We've got a lot of good teams to take a look at.
And we're going to look at a couple of the district matchups from that district to kick things off on this edition of Friday Night Stars. Let's start with our Whataburger game of the week, and that would be the Hebron Hawks traveling to Coppell, Buddy Eccles Field on Friday night to take on the 10th-ranked team in the state, the Coppell Cowboys. Coppell, Kyle, coming off a 12-1 season last year.
Yeah, and that Coppell team, that 10th ranking, may even be a little bit too low, averaging over 40 points per game. They're not giving up a whole lot of scores as well. I mean, they are blanking opponents to this point in the season with wins over Saxe, Waxahachie in a tight ball game where they had to come back late, put up 14 points in the 4th quarter to tie it, send it into OT, and then they stopped a Waxahachie 2-point conversion to try and win that football game. What a game that was, and how did they rebound from a tight overtime rivalry matchup? Well, they went up and put up 72 points against Arlington Bowie a week later. So, yeah, this Coppell team is really, they're high-flying. They put up a great amount of points, and it's really all led by Edward Griffin at the quarterback position, completing nearly 70% of his passes, 8 touchdowns, just the 2 interceptions to this point in the year. Coppell's the real deal. You might see a familiar name on the opposite side for the Hebron Hawks, though, playing quarterback is Patrick Creighton Jr. Yes, the son of Cowboys legend Patrick Creighton playing the quarterback position. He's been really good up to this point as well. They're going to look to try and pull the upset. I don't know if Hebron thinks it's an upset, though. They feel like they have the talent to get it done.
And Hebron's only loss of the season came against Southlake Carroll. Started the season with a 48-31 win over a Dallas Jesuit. So Patrick Creighton, the quarterback for Hebron. Edward Griffin, who you mentioned, is a Baylor commit. Yeah. The Baylor commit at safety for Hebron, Bo Onu, talks about this matchup against the Coppell quarterback.
We match physicality. I mean, every week we go against physical teams. So, I mean, we match physicality. That's why we've been in the weight room so much. So I think we matching everything against Coppell. You know, they're just another team like us. So we just go take them. We ain't gonna take them lightly though. We went up to Baylor for an official visit. So I talked to them there a little bit. I talked to them at the game, and it's just a little bit, just not as much though, because you know we play against each other. So I don't even want to. It's good because last year I was hurt and I didn't get to play against them. But this year, you know, I'll be able to talk my smack whenever we go to Baylor games and stuff like that. So I'm excited to play against them. You know, this won't be the last time. You know, as you said, we're going to Baylor together, so we're just going to keep competing against each other, getting each other better. That we ain't scared to back out from no one. You know, we match physicality with everybody. You know, it doesn't matter who's on our agenda. You know what I'm saying? We don't back down from nothing.
I like that. He's honest. He's honest. He said, you know what? We're friends. We hang out. We talk a little bit of smack. But he's like, when we're playing, I'm not talking to him. I'm not talking to Edward Griffin. I don't want to even hear from him going into this week because there's business to be done. I like that from two future Baylor Bears.
And he was quick to point out he didn't play last year in this matchup. Or it might be different this year, according to him. All right, Coppell's going to battle for a district championship, but Denton Guyer is also. And the other matchup from this district we want to talk about is the 20th ranked team in the state, Guyer, at Flower Mound, Neil Wilson Jaguar Stadium, and Guyer off a 7-4 season, unlike what you've seen from Guyer before, but they got a transfer quarterback in Kevin Sperry, an OU commit, and they started the season a big way with a win over Aledo.
Yeah, 35-30. I mean, that's the one that sticks out right now, but also that one loss right now. I mentioned how it's against North Crowley. Right now, it looks like North Crowley might be the best team in the state outside of maybe Duncanville. We'll, of course, see that later on in the year. But Denton Guyer was in that football game up until the fourth quarter. They put up 21 points in the third to kind of rectify a slow start. They have some speed, the physicality in the trenches. They could run away with this district, but I'm interested to see how Flower Mound responds because they're 3-0. The wins that I mentioned earlier over Wiley, over Lake Highlands. This is by far the toughest test of the year for the Jags. And if they are indeed the real deal, they'll keep things tight, they'll keep things close, and they're going to rely on the ground game for the Jaguars moving forward. I really like what they've done with a couple of guys. Marcus Simpson averaging almost 7 yards per carry. Ryan Stadler has done a great job, over 200 yards this season from scrimmage. They utilize their tailbacks nicely. They're going to have to do so against the physicality of Denton Guyer.
Flower Mound coming off a win in their last game 2 weeks ago against Lake Highlands. It came with 3 seconds left in the game. A touchdown pass from Noah Spinks to Carter Massey to win that game 21-17. All right, let's move to the Arlington Seguin, the Colony matchup in Class 5A, District 3 5A, Division 2. Seguin off to a great start, 4-0 on the season. The Colony is 3-1, and Jet Beecham took a trip out to Seguin High School to chat with the Seguin coaches and players.
Through thick and thin, Arlington Seguin head coach Joe Gordon relishes in building a program.
I think it's really just come down to being process-oriented and being disciplined to be patient to develop the kids that we had.
Seguin had just 4 combined wins in Gordon's first 3 seasons. Fast forward 5 years, and Seguin is out to a 4-0 start for the first time in program history.
I think that process and them staying disciplined and committed to the coachings have allowed us to be where we are today.
It means a lot to our team. You know, we worked so hard. I mean, we expected it.
With the coaching staff rich in collegiate experience, the Cougars have outscored their opponents 188-24. Under new offensive coordinator Brian Applewhite, Seguin has one of the top offenses in the state at just under 50 points per game.
The kids, I mean, they're fun to coach. They're having fun. They love football. They work hard.
And anytime you can do that offensively and defensively and play complementary football, you know, it really begins to stack up.
It's an impressive feat given just 1 junior high feeds into Seguin. But that brotherhood forged over the years makes this season's success much more meaningful.
It means a lot. We've been working hard for the past 4 years. We've just been playing together and doing what we taught to do. Playing together and having fun.
And together, they hope to keep making more history at Seguin.
The first thing you see before you walk into our team meeting rooms, okay, is expect to win. Expecting to win means that's our mindset.
We just do our 1/11 and take it one day at a time. Just go 1-0 every single day.
In South Arlington, Jet Beecham, CBS Sports, Texas.
One of the things I like about that story right there, you see the indoor practice facility.
Yeah.
Arlington ISD has done a great job feeding into their players, and all the schools in Arlington ISD have indoor facilities.
And they're benefiting from it. I mean, there's a lot of talent out of Arlington ISD. We've talked about them through the years, whether you're the Colts, whether you're the Wranglers, whether you're, of course, Arlington Seguin. I like what we've seen so far from this Seguin bunch. Their closest margin of victory to this point in the season was 32 points against Burleson. They've been blowing out their opponents. But this is going to be a 3-game stretch that they will look back on when this season is said and done. And this is where you're going to figure out what your football team is. The Colony this week, who, of course, the Cougars are 3-1. Mansfield Timberview next week. And then following that, on October 11th, they travel to Argyle, of course, We know the type of pedigree that the Argyle Eagles have. So far, we've seen Arlington Seguin play really good football. They're going to have to continue that over these next 3 weeks.
One more matchup we want to tell you about in Class 5A, District 6 5A, Division 1. The Wranglers of West Mesquite High School, 3-7 on the season last year, but off to a big start this year. A battle of unbeatens here, taking on the Longhorns of W.T. White.
I love this Longhorn team because of what they have overcome, like you talked about it. This is a team that last year was not very good. They've already surpassed their win total, but traditionally W.T. White has worked their way at least into the by-district round, sometimes into the area round. They are a playoff caliber program, and they're showing it yet again, and they're doing so on the ground. Benabike, 78 carries, over 600 yards. That's over 7.5 yards a carry, 6 touchdowns on the year. He's combined that with an efficiency at quarterback from Andrew Paredes. 51 of 74 passing, 70% completion, 826 yards. And you always at the high school level want to look at how you take care of the football. 11 touchdowns, 1 interception for Paredes, and really this W.T. White team is firing on offense on all cylinders.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of Friday Night Stars. Up next, we take a trip to Frisco ISD and check in on several of the schools there.
This segment was brought to you by Whataburger. Yes, it's true. All new iced coffee has officially arrived at Whataburger. Stop by and enjoy one today.
Time for the Showdown at the Star, and what a showdown this will be as Friday Night Stars continues here on Friday night at Ford Center. Star in Frisco, third-ranked Salina Bobcats, second-ranked Panther Creek Panthers out of Frisco ISD. And Kyle Youmans, what a matchup of quarterbacks here.
Yeah, 2 really good quarterbacks. We'll start with Graylin Fry and what he's done. I mean, he's joining a group from Panther Creek that won this district a year ago and is looking not only for district title capabilities, but really their aspirations are much bigger than that. They want to win a state championship. Coach Clint Surratt was telling me about about Fry behind the center. I mean, 14 touchdowns so far, 1 interception. He's one of those guys that wasn't really a big contributor last year. He joins a cast of characters that were Seth Jackson, C.J. Watts, Centel Simpson, all were big-time proponents in their win last year over Salina that helped win a district title. We'll talk more about that matchup in a moment. But Bo Bentley on the opposite side. Salina's done a great job so far this season of setting the tone on the offensive side of things, and they've done so behind Bentley, who's completing 70% of his passes, 54 of 77, 870 yards through the year. He has not thrown a touchdown, or he's not thrown an interception, but he's thrown 13 touchdowns and rushed for over 250 yards and 3 scores as well. That dual threat ability is exactly what they're going to need if they're going to have to take down Panther Creek.
Salina looking for revenge for that district loss a year ago. And, of course, one of the most storied programs in Texas high school football, the Orange of Salina High School. All right, in the spotlight this week from Frisco ISD, how about we check out Liberty High School?
Yeah, offensively, last week we suited up. We started 5 sophomores, and so those guys growing up are really led by seniors. Zane Amer on the front line. Then we've got Caleb Cooper, who's our returning rushing leader, and both those guys kind of spearhead the offense. And then on defense, Landon Regatas is probably our greatest football player. Loves to play the game, and then also Kamari Daniels and Lincoln Daniel, 2 guys that are veteran returners.
Look, it's a big game, it's going to be a hard one, but hoping to pull through with a dub. We've all been working really hard off season and practicing for it.
It was a big role coming into it. We knew I would be the only senior on the offensive and defensive line, so it was a little bit of pressure, but my coaches, they helped me pull through with it, and they told me what I need to be and what I need to do to help these younger cats.
Yeah, I mean, we are young. We're few in numbers. We suited up 25 last week, and the team we played had 25 seniors. And but what a great, our guys, when they talk about it, they love playing football. And so, when you only have 25 players, that means you get to play offense, you get to play defense, and you get to play special teams. So if you love to play football, you get to play a lot of football.
They play a lot of football in Frisco ISD, and another one of the big games of the week, District 5, 5A Division I, as Frisco Lone Star, ranked 3rd in the state, plays Frisco Heritage, and that game will be played at Toyota Stadium.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Heritage has shown an ability to score the football in their early games, but Frisco Lone Star looks like the favorites again out of Class 5, 5A.
And let's hear from head coach Jeff Rayburn.
Coach Rayburn always says we have a lot of potential, but that means you haven't done nothing yet. So we have a whole lot of great guys, a whole lot of talent, but it all just got to come together.
Well, this is one of the most talented teams we've had. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the best team, but I feel it has the potential to be the best team. These guys really love each other. The leadership on this team is great. We've got a lot of youth that's played a lot of football for us. So I think a lot of the big games we played in last year, the come from behind victories, the overtime games, and things like that, I think building upon that experience leading up into this year is really going to help us.
What a coaching job Jeff Rayburn has done through the years at Lone Star High School, and you see it on Saturdays, college football. You see his former players in the NFL as well.
He may have a Heisman winner whenever this is all said and done with Ashton Genty and what he's doing at Boise State. Lone Star, again, they're doing so with youth. He talked about it there, meshing the youth with some of the more experienced players. Davian Gross, he said, has the chance to be the best player that has ever left Lone Star High School and graduated from the Rangers. But it's the sophomore quarterback, Carice Hoyt, that's been the surprise this year. He's been fantastic, both running and throwing the football, 11 touchdowns through the air. He has 6 touchdowns on the ground.
All right, much more still to come on Friday Night Stars. A trip to Southlake when we come back in a moment.
This segment is brought to you by Whataburger. Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back. 3 chicken strips, signature buffalo sauce, and buttermilk ranch. Available for a limited time.
And these kids have worked so hard. They're great kids. I love them, man. And they work so hard. And to see their work validated with some success early. Now, we still have a long way to go. You know, we have an unbelievable schedule. But the kids know if we work really hard, we pay attention to detail, we trust our process, then we'll have a chance to compete. We heard about the Big Four in our district. You know, we have a 9-team district, and you've heard about the Big Four. You heard about Melissa and Anna and Emerson and Lovejoy. And, you know, we just want Walnut Grove to be part of that conversation.
What a job the veteran coach Tommy Allison is doing at the Upstart program in Prosper. Walnut Grove High School unbeaten their 2nd year of playing varsity football, and they will host Denison on Friday night. Let's hear from the new athletic director as well as head football coach at Southlake Carroll, Riley Dodge.
Yeah, it's just a full circle moment. Obviously, coming back here as a head coach, that's all, you know, that's what I dreamed of, you know, to come back here and to lead this program, and now to be the athletic director and to oversee all of our athletes and coaches is an amazing honor. You know, the support and the trust that the school district has given me is definitely humbling, but I got an easy job. We got the best head coaches in the state of Texas, and so it makes my job pretty easy.
And they've got some talent once again on that Southlake Carroll team as Friday Night Stars continues. Bill Jones with Kyle Youmans, and Southlake Carroll playing another unbeaten team this week as they host Timber Creek out of Keller ISD. Homecoming for them, and they've got some D1 recruits on that offense.
Yeah, they do, and I think they also have a target on the back of this Carroll Dragons bunch. Carroll, they've, of course, have that talent. They have the record to this point, but they haven't been putting teams away like they normally have. 1 by 12 against Byron Nelson, 1 by 12 again in a late game. They had 20 points in the 3rd quarter against Euless Trinity to pull that one out. I want to see more from the Carroll Dragons, and I think it does start with their offense and their almost 50 points per game.
Yep, they only return 1 starter on defense at Carroll. All right, we wrap up Friday Night Stars in just a moment.
Friday Night Stars, presented by Whataburger. Yes, it's true. All new iced coffee has officially arrived at Whataburger. Stop by and enjoy one today.
Check out the 6A top 10 rankings, and there's a number from the metroplex, Kyle.
No doubt, there's a lot of talent up here, but I want you to look at that number 3 team, 4-0, North Crowley. The Panthers have been flying on all cylinders. They had that win over DeSoto in week 2, led by a couple of guys. Chris Jimerson committed to North Texas. But what about Quentin Gibson? He has 15 touchdowns through just 4 games, Bill.
All right, that does it for Friday Night Stars for this week. Enjoy the games this weekend, including the Cowboy game tonight. We'll see you again next week on Friday Night Stars.